friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Megan and today I have a special announcement. So today I am announcing the second round of the To Be Continued Readathon. If you aren't aware, this is a readathon that I help co-host and it is specifically built around trying to finish your series and like really taking the time and effort to continue the series that you have started and just not picked up again for any reason. So as I said, I am a co-host of this readathon. I am helping host this with my friends Sarah, Sophie, and Caroline, and I will link all of their information down below. So some basic info that you should know for this readathon is it is a month-long readathon taking place throughout the month of July. There is no restriction on the type of prompt you read. Audiobooks, graphic novels, anything that is on Goodreads is allowed. And of course you are allowed to double up. We would love to see you challenge yourself and pick one book per prompt, but we understand that not everyone has the extra time that it takes and you can double up your prompts. And of course, because this is a readathon built around finishing your series, we of course want you to pick up all of the sequels. However, if you decide to start a new series, we will not hold that against you. Pick up any books that suit your fancy. So now I'm gonna go through the prompts. There are 8 prompts, and as I said, you are allowed to double up. I'm going to try to do all 8 as separate books. However, I am involved in this readathon. I'm trying to do 2 other readathons. I have a full-time job. I'm trying to do Booktube, and it's also the month that my Little Women performance is happening. So I'm not sure how well I'm going to be able to achieve this, but as I said, I am going to try to do books for each prompt. So let's head on into the prompts. So the first prompt is called Top of the TBR Pile, and this is to pick a book that you are most excited for, the sequel you are most excited for. For this, I will be reading Children of Virtue and Vengeance. This is the sequel to Children of Blood and Bone, which I will be reading sometime in June, hopefully. But this tells the story of Zelly, who is on the quest to bring back magic after it was taken from her tribe, and it's so fun. There's so much elemental magic. There is an enemies to lovers that is compared to a Zuko-Katara relationship, and it is written by a Black author named Tomi Adeyemi. The author's note in the first book actually explains that Children of Blood and Bone was Tomi's way of grieving and doing something about police brutality and just the Black Lives Matter movement. So I thought that was a really interesting touch, and I cannot wait to pick up Children of Virtue and Vengeance because Children of Blood and Bone ended on such a cliffhanger. The next prompt is called New Kid, and it's to read the sequel that is most recently published. So I'm cheating a little bit with this one. It's not necessarily a sequel, it's a prequel slash side story, but it was very recently published and I'm so excited to get to it, and that is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. If you aren't aware, this is the side story to the Hunger Games, and it follows the 10th annual Hunger Games and President Snow's backstory, and I am ecstatic to get to it. I luckily am pretty good about separating a prequel or book that is written after a series is complete from the original series, so I'm not worried about it ruining my thoughts on the original series. But I honestly haven't seen that many reviews. I've been trying to stay as far away from spoilers as possible, so I'm so excited to get to this one. Next is The Road is Long, and it is to read a book with at least 3 books in the series. So for this, I am reading Heir of Fire, and this is part of the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. I have not read any of the books so far, but I'm hoping to be to Heir of Fire by the time this readathon rolls around. If not, I'll probably do Crown of Midnight. I will definitely have Throne of Glass and The Assassin's Blade done by the time for this readathon. I'm hoping to be to Heir of Fire. As I said, from what I remember or recall, this is a story of an assassin who is competing in a game to become the king's assassin so that she doesn't have to go back to their prison or something like that. And that's pretty much all I remember from the synopsis slash first time I read the book a while ago. But I am excited to pick up the series and hopefully get through it. And obviously there's 3 or more books in the series because this is the 4th of 8. Next is WildCard, and that is to read any book you want as long as it is part of a series. I don't have it with me right now because it is a library book I have on hold, so I'm gonna put it right here, but it is Dengeki Daisy Volume 11. This is a story in which we are following a girl whose brother died, but he left her a cell phone behind in which she can contact an alias named Daisy. And in this book we learn who Daisy is, and we follow the kind of love story between the two. And it's really cute, and it's a cute little manga, and there's only 16 volumes. I'm currently at volume 9, so I'm hoping to finish it in July. So I just kind of randomly picked volume 11 for this. The next one is I Like Them, Another. And whenever I hear that, I think of Thor in the movie when he's like, another. But for this, you are to read a book that if you enjoyed the first book, pick up the next one. And for this, I don't have the actual book. I am going to purchase it, so I'm gonna use this as a stand-in, but I'm going to read The Broken Kingdoms, which will be the sequel to The 100,000 Kingdoms. And I've not actually read this. I'm hoping again to pick this up before July. So this tells a story of Yin, who is from the barbarian north, and one day when her mother dies mysteriously, she is taken into the capital and named the heiress to the throne. However, becoming part of the throne is not as easy as it seems, and she has to battle against a bunch of family members she never knew she even had. And it just sounds fantastic. And again, this is by another Black author. I'm really excited about this one because it was actually gifted to me. It was sent by Ivy Withers, and she said, N.K. Jemisin is my favorite Black female author. I hope you enjoy because I truly did. And I thought that was super sweet, and I'm gonna keep that little note tucked in here and hope I enjoy this series. Next is Procrastination. Pick the book that has been on your TBR the longest, or one that you've been putting off. For this, I am hoping to pick up Thunderhead, the sequel to Scythe. In Scythe, it is a story of a world in which death has been eradicated, and we are following these apprentice scythes who have the responsibility of keeping the population under control, and they are the only ones to allow or cause a death in this world. So that sounds super interesting, and I'm so excited to pick this one up. The next prompt is right back where we started from, and it is to read the first book in a series. So this is your chance to pick up a book that's not a sequel if you are trying to go for all sequels. For this, I'm choosing A Song of Wraith and Ruin, and this is by Roseanne A. Brown. It is inspired by West African folklore, and it follows a princess and a refugee who are on the quest to murder each other despite being completely in love with one another, and that just sounds so fantastic, and I cannot wait to pick it up. And the final prompt is called Boss Level, and it is to read a book with a villain, mentor, or character larger than life. For this, I am reading the sequel to The Lightning Thief called The Sea of Monsters, which is a Percy Jackson book. And of course, the characters in this are larger than life because they're the gods and goddesses of Olympus. What's larger than life than the people who created life or control life, right? So I thought that was a really fun take on this prompt, and that is what I will be reading, and I'm excited because this is part of my 2020 TBR. I did try to pick most of these books as part of the ones that I chose for my 2020 TBR, so hopefully I can actually get through it this month. So that is my TBR for the readathon. We are going to be hosting mainly on Twitter, but also on Instagram. I will link our social media down below and some of the stories or Instagram templates you can use to participate in our challenges. So I really hope you guys join. Please comment down below if you plan to and what you plan to read if you are planning to join. And I can't wait for you to be part of this readathon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment if you have any questions, and I'll check in with you in my next one. Bye, friends!